Coming up next on Newswatch.
The new OU homecoming parade route is raising concerns about the businesses behind the parade. Local veterans get a free round trip to the U.S. Capitol on the honor flight.
And in sports, an Ohio volleyball blocker is recognized for her defensive efforts this week. Newswatch starts right now.
Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
Ohio University's annual homecoming parade has been bringing alumni back since 1932. Good evening, I'm Josh Gregory.
And I'm Caitlin Marshall. Thanks for joining us. This year, though, participants will be marching to the beat on a new route. The change has prompted resistance from both participants and uptown business owners. WOUB reporter Bianca Hillier has the story.
Cars, claps, and Court Street. Three things that are integral to Ohio University's annual homecoming parade. But due to the Union Street fire in the fall of 2014, the 2015 parade will bypass Court Street altogether.
The parade will still start down at the corner of Factory and Union Street and then work its way up the Union Street Hill as it has done for years. But instead of carrying on straight past Jackie O's and Buffalo Wild Wings towards Court Street, this year the parade is turning right onto South Congress.
Some worry the move off the bricks will dampen the parade's mood, but Alina Klimas marches in the parade each year and isn't bothered by the change.
For the most part, I think it doesn't matter, and that homecoming's more than just a route. So I think this year will be just as great as last year, and people will be just as excited.
But Court Street stores are expecting to miss the business. Jean Arms, spokesperson of the Uptown Business Owners Association, fears the potential loss in sales.
I'm sure some of these people will make it up here eventually, but it'll have to hurt sales. And the further down Court Street you're located, the worse the impact's going to be.
Athens Police Department Chief of Police Tom Pyle is aware of these fears.
I've heard of those concerns, and that's not uncommon. I mean, we have those concerns with the Halloween event, where we block off parking. We fielded complaints from business owners where we block off the streets, what time we block off the streets.
Klimas says she expects people will still go up-down after the parade, despite the route change.
Athens is a pretty small town, and Court Street's everyone's favorite place to go. So I feel like the businesses will be just as busy.
Reporting for WOUB News, I'm Bianca Hillier.
The parade begins at 10 a.m. on Saturday, October 10th, rain or shine. This year's theme is Same Bricks, Different Stories. And following the parade, Ohio University Bobcat football will be playing Miami of Ohio down at Peden Stadium. Kickoff is at 2 p.m.
Last night's city council meeting made one local businesswoman angry. Barbara Stout, owner of Athens Underground, asked council members not to pass an ordinance about local trick-or-treat. The ordinance, which wasn't passed, would close a portion of Court Street on Monday evening, the 26th, from 5 to 7:30 for trick-or-treat. Stout says she has to close her store during her busiest and most profitable time of the year.
Last 6 days before the block party accounts for more revenue than the entire summer. And I have to close. I cannot conduct business during this trick-or-treat. People are coming in from all over the county for this, and it is an absolute zoo.
Council defeated the ordinance last night. However, now there is a concern for children's safety as cars will be driving during the event.
Two Athens veterans recently visited Washington, D.C., courtesy of Honor Flight Columbus. According to the messenger, Max Evans and Don Slagle were recognized for their service in World War II. This volunteer program transports senior veterans of World War II, Korean, and Vietnam Wars to enjoy exploring the memorials at no cost to the honorees. Some of our nation's veterans are taking a day trip from Ohio to Washington, D.C. today. The nonprofit Honor Flight Network is flying them there free of charge, as it's been doing for veterans since 2005. This is the fourth Tri-State Honor Flight of the year. Zach Pitts reports this particular trip is also a first.
Their honor flight takes to the sky and heads to D.C., but this one's a little different.
I've been on the trip once before, but this is really, really special that it's for all women.
That's right, all women. And it's also the first time it's ever been done. 72 veterans are touring the nation's capital and visiting all the memorials built in their honor. All the servicewomen looking gorgeous in those specially made pink Honor Flight t-shirts, and of course those patriotic scarves as well. It's their day, and it's well deserved.
It's time that the women are being recognized. It's unbelievable how many women have been in the service over the years that we're not aware of at all.
Now, another neat thing that makes this trip so special is that the guardians, the people that are basically going to be escorting these veterans through D.C., they're veterans themselves and female. Veterans from World War II to those who served in Iraq and Afghanistan. Each stop on their trip has been specially planned for them.
We're going to be spending a really extended time at the Women's Memorial in Arlington. Usually it's a drive-by, so we're going to have lunch there. There's going to be some speakers.
It's a free trip, but one these women will likely always remember.
Honor Flight Director Cheryl Popp says the Veterans Administration asked them to put the all-female trip together. They received 250 applications for 140 seats on the airplane.
A female Ohio University student has withdrawn her claim that she was sexually assaulted. Athens County Prosecutor Keller Blackburn says the case is being dismissed in municipal court at the request of the victim, Reginald R. Williams II. He was charged with gross sexual imposition, a fourth-degree felony. According to the Athens Messenger, the case against Williams is one of 5 incidents reported on OU's campus since the start of fall semester.
Good evening from the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Kaylee Shaw. Right now in Athens, currently at 77 degrees with partly cloudy skies. Winds are east 5 miles per hour. Temperatures across the region in the mid to upper 70s right now. 79 in Columbus, 78 Cambridge, and 76 in Ripley. As for overnight, we are going to get a bit cooler with our low temperatures in the mid to low 50s. 54 Columbus, 54 Cambridge, and New Martinsville will not be 79. It'll be roughly 54 degrees as well, with the potential for some fog overnight. I'll have more on that in my later forecast coming up when we'll get back to that forecast later.
Presidential hopeful Ben Carson was in Cincinnati today. The GOP hopeful visited the Queen City to discuss controversial comments he made regarding Muslims. He says his comments were taken out of context.
I don't care what a person's religious beliefs are or what their religious heritage is. If they embrace American culture, if they embrace our Constitution, and are willing to place that above their religious beliefs, I have no problem with them.
This is Carson's second visit to Ohio this year. He will be stopping in Cedarville tomorrow.
One Ohio suburb is banning sales of tobacco products to people under the age of 21. That's according to the Columbus Dispatch. The Grandview Heights Council's decision makes using tobacco products a low-level misdemeanor crime. Anyone under the age of 21 caught using tobacco products could face misdemeanor penalties. The ordinance follows similar tobacco sales restrictions recently passed in nearby Upper Arlington and Bexley. One Ohio group is aiming to create a process to erase old pot-related crimes. Responsible Ohio is behind the so-called Fresh Start Act, which would review and expunge old pot-related convictions if marijuana is legalized this fall. The organization must submit more than 90,000 ballot signatures by December to get the proposal before state lawmakers next year. Lawmakers would then have until April of 2016 to act on the issue.
An Ohio couple is facing charges after their 11-month-old son died from ingesting heroin. 32-year-old Denise Dickinson and 29-year-old Kyle Black have been indicted for involuntary manslaughter and child endangerment. Franklin County Prosecutor Ron O'Brien says Dominic Dickinson was pronounced dead after medics responded to a report of a baby not breathing at a Columbus home on May 13th. If convicted, the defendants could face up to 11 years in prison. Charleston City Council is taking steps toward establishing a needle exchange program. On Monday, council members approved an ordinance decriminalizing possession of hypodermic syringes and needles if a program is approved or sponsored by the city's police chief. The ordinance would allow distribution of needles and syringes that are part of a needle exchange program, and such programs would allow intravenous drug users to exchange used needles for clean ones.
West Virginia has the second highest rate of obesity among adults in the nation. According to a report released by Trust for America's Health and the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, Arkansas has the highest obesity rate with 35.9%. West Virginia came in a close second with an obesity rate of 35.7%. The report says obesity is prevalent in nearly 40% of West Virginians ages 26 to 64, and in only 31% of those 65 and older. More problems for Volkswagen, what the automaker plans to do amidst their recent scandal.
Kim Davis has disobeyed orders again, what she has to say about her opponents. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
I decided to do a planned gift because I want to ensure that PBS will be around for my grandchildren and hopefully great-grandchildren. I would hope that others, when doing their estate planning, would include their PBS station. My PBS station is part of my community. That's something I really value.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like we're having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
A Kentucky county clerk speaks out after refusing to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples. Today, Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis says the names she's been called don't hurt her. Reporter Andrew Spencer has more.
A tearful Kim Davis spoke to ABC News in an exclusive interview.
What people say about me does not define who I am.
A judge jailed the Rowan County clerk earlier this month for violating a court order and refusing to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples. Davis said issuing the licenses would violate her conscience and go against her religion. When she was released 5 days later, she was surrounded by supporters, including Republican presidential candidate Mike Huckabee. Some held her up as a champion for Christian rights, but others have not been so kind.
I've been called Hitler. I've been called a hypocrite. I've been called a homophobe. I've been called things and names that I didn't even say when I was in the world.
Davis says she's just a normal person.
What probably hurts me the worst is when someone tells me that my God does not love me.
One deputy clerk, just the one, now issues marriage licenses to same-sex couples, but the court battle isn't over. That clerk says he's worried the licenses he's issuing might be invalid due to changes Davis made since she was released from jail. An attorney for Davis insists the changes do not violate the judge's orders. I'm Andrew Spencer reporting.
The changes may not violate the judge's order, but the court battle in Rowan is far from over. The problems continue to grow for Volkswagen. The embattled automaker says it will set aside more than $7 billion to cover the costs of an emissions cheating scandal. U.S. regulators revealed last week that Volkswagen cheated in emissions tests on about 500,000 diesel vehicles. Volkswagen is halting some U.S. car sales after regulators demanded a recall. The company has lost more than a quarter of its value since the scandal broke. Meanwhile, the newspaper claims Martin Winterkorn will be replaced by the current CEO of Porsche on Friday. The automaker is denying this.
As Carly Fiorina's profile rises within the Republican field, so does the criticism of her record as a CEO. On Twitter today, Trump blasted Fiorina, saying she's terrible at business, the last thing our country needs. But Fiorina's accomplishments are impressive. After rising in the ranks at AT&T to senior vice president, she went on to be named president of AT&T spinoff Lucent, then to become CEO of Hewlett-Packard.
Well, I think when people find out what a horrible job she did in business, running two companies into the ground, Lucent and HP.
The two companies' combined sales led Fiorina to make this claim. She oversaw the
doubled the size of the company. We quadrupled its top line growth rate. We quadrupled its cash flow. We tripled its rate of innovation.
HP went into a tailspin, losing half its stock value, laying off 30,000 workers by 2005. Fiorina was fired, but despite the controversy swirling around her, she's surging in the latest CNN poll, now in second place, trailing only Donald Trump, whose lead fell after last week's debate by 8 points. And on Wall Street today, stocks fell sharply lower as a slump in commodity prices reset worries about slowing global growth. Here's a look at stocks of local interest.
I support one student in college with a scholarship. Just the way I want to pass on a legacy of education. I would like to pass PBS on to the next generation. I like to think that PBS is concerned with our soul. If your soul is in the right place, you're in giving back.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Just because the blooming season is over, that doesn't mean allergies aren't still with us. So if you're wondering why you may be sneezing more, a fall allergy might be triggering your problem. Here's Holly Furfer with today's Health Minute.
Yep, you've made it through the summer with no congestion. But now we're moving into the fall season, and although the foliage of summer may be fading, new allergies are lurking out there. What are they? Ragweed usually starts releasing its pollen in late August, but that pollen can linger into the late fall. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, about 3/4 of people who are allergic to spring plants are allergic to ragweed. And let's not forget mold. Mold spores love wet areas, which means piles of wet leaves can be its breeding ground. Dust is also a major allergy trigger. Turn on our heater and you stir them up. Those tiny bugs are in almost every home. If you're suffering from serious runny nose, watery eyes, itching, and coughing, see your doctor. A good allergist should be able to rid you of some of your symptoms. For today's Health Minute, I'm Holly Furfer.
Currently, Athens is seeing moderate levels of weed pollen, so make sure to take your allergy medicine as pollen season ramps up. And Kaylee Shaw has more details on the pollen level in our area right now in her extended forecast.
Thanks, Josh. I don't know about you, but my allergies have been all over the place this year. Right, and like they said, weed pollen is present in the air. In our Athens region, we have moderate levels of weed pollen. And for your weather forecast today, high of 79 and a low of 57, a bit above average, but not too far off from the normal for this time of year. Right now in Athens, 77 with partly cloudy skies. We had another great day and winds are east at 5 miles per hour. Current temperatures across the region are in the mid to upper 70s with partly cloudy skies. 79 Columbus, 78 Marietta, and 75 down in Ironton. Temperatures overnight are expected to get a bit cooler into the mid to low 50s. And again, New Martinsville, not going to be in a heat wave. We are actually going to be closer to 54 for your low and 56 Ironton. And we do have some potential for some river valley fog. Here's a look at your overnight forecast. You might be wondering, why are we seeing all of this river morning fog lately? That's because when temperatures overnight get cooler, your water sources are still a bit warmer, so that's causing some of this evaporation, giving us that morning fog. Should clear out of our way around 8 a.m., but you'll want to take a few extra minutes in the morning on your drive to work. Temperatures for tomorrow, we're going to get up to the mid 70s to upper 70s again. We do have a slight chance for some pop-up showers in the morning, but we're only expecting about 30% chance. Most of our day is going to be pretty sunny into the afternoon. Again, temperatures in the mid to upper 70s. Here's a look at your precipcast. High pressure, so not much going on besides that river valley fog in the morning, but we're going to stay pretty dry throughout the rest of the week. Temperatures overnight, 53 for your low. You're going to watch out for that fog, and 77 for your high tomorrow, with a few chances for some storms. 77 for your first day of fall tomorrow, and we're going to be pretty much in the mid 70s throughout our 7-day forecast.
I'm Kelsey Steele. Tonight in sports, information on a notable Reds name undergoing season-ending surgery. And on the gridiron, a few familiar franchises have jumped in the NFL power rankings. All of this and more next on Newswatch. And stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
My granddaughter is named June Elizabeth, but I call her Junebug. My hope is to teach her about kindness and about the love of animals and nature. I want Junebug to have the same opportunities I had by watching PBS. My husband and I feel so strongly about our PBS station that we've included them in our estate plan. PBS is part of our values, and we want to pass it on to the next generation.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open. You can go to them with pretty much anything. Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Ohio volleyball middle blocker Karin Bull was named Mid-American Conference East Division Defensive Player of the Week today. Bull led the Bobcats with 19 total blocks and 3 wins this weekend in the Florida Gulf Coast Invitational. This is her first Defensive Player of the Week award of the 2015 season and the third in her career at Ohio. Bull's honor gives the Bobcats the title for the 3rd straight week, and Coach Webb had nothing but good things to say about his middle blocker.
I was putting in my votes for Conference Player of the Week, that she didn't have a single error all last week. Didn't have a single error. I mean, that's really unusual. And I think she had 19 kills, 41 attempts, something like that, with no errors. And that's just remarkable.
In the Cardinal Classic today, after shooting a final round of 297, they finished 41 over par. Angela Codian and Lily Pendy led the Cats, each finishing 20th overall and 10 over par. Haley Hrenovich wasn't shy from the pack. The junior finished in the 23rd spot and 15 over par as well. The Bobcats have an off week before returning to the green on October 5th and 6th for the Rocket Classic in Port Clinton, Ohio. The decision rocked Cleveland in 2014, and now it's about to rock Columbus. In his Tuesday press conference, Urban Meyer stated that he has a starter at quarterback in mind for this week and could announce it tomorrow after practice. Urban stated, "I kind of already know who it is," and this comes after both QBs struggled against Northern Illinois on Saturday. With no standout play, the competition opened back up. The Cleveland Indians are in Minnesota tonight for a 3-game series against the Twins. Cleveland sits a game and a half behind the Twins and 4.5 games back in the wild card standings. They are posting a 16-8 record, an American League best since August 25th. Danny Salazar is set to take the mound for the Tribe, looking for his team-leading 14th win. Irvin Santana has the go-ahead for the Twins. He has a 1.55 ERA over his last 4 starts. Minnesota holds a slight 7-5 edge of the Indians in the season series. First pitch is at 8:10 tonight. The Cincinnati Reds are out of the playoff run, and now so is their starting center fielder. Billy Hamilton has missed the last 6 games after he re-injured his shoulder. Last night, General Manager Walt Jocketty announced that Hamilton will have season-ending arthroscopic surgery on Friday. Jocketty says the motive behind the move is to have Hamilton ready for spring training. Hamilton led Major League Baseball this season with 57 steals and 65 chances. The Reds are back in action tonight in St. Louis for Game 2 of the series. First pitch is set for 8:15. The latest ESPN NFL Power Rankings are out, and with that, some notable moves. The Cleveland Browns are up 7 spots from last week to number 21. Cleveland led by the play of Johnny Manziel, and the defense picked up their first win of the season in a dominant performance over the Titans on Sunday. And the Cincinnati Bengals saw a jump as well. They're up to number 6 this week after sliding by San Diego for their second win of the season. Other big moves in the rankings were by the Jets, who jumped up 12 spots. As for the Saints, they dropped 8 spots back. The NFL is back in action on Thursday. We'll see the Redskins and the Giants in action. I'm Kelsey Steele, and that's it for sports. Back to you, Caitlin.
Thanks, Kelsey.
I decided to do a planned gift because I want to ensure that PBS will be around for my grandchildren and hopefully great-grandchildren. I would hope that others, when doing their estate planning, would include their PBS station. My PBS station is part of my community. That's something I really value.